Hey friends, welcome back to Engagement Academy, the show that's brought to you by a disengaged employee who lived it all on the other side and studied workplace psychology so hard to figure out what happened to me. And I studied Gallup so hard to figure out why HR wasn't equipped. And my goodness, this is a labor of love to make sure that you never feel like HR is not the right path for you ever again, or feel like you're beating your head against a brick wall getting people to listen to you. Today, I want to give you a quick tip that I've heard HR leaders accidentally do that gets employees to go, huh? And kind of like raise their eyebrow and be like, you are not my friend. And it's something you would never know unless someone told you. So here I am, the disengaged employee turned HR ally, whispering in your ear like, don't do this, and this is why. When you are speaking at all hands, or when you're sending out a survey, or if you're ever talking about anything that you're doing with survey results or employee initiatives, don't ever tell us that you're trying to drive engagement. Don't call it an engagement survey. Just call it a survey. Just say, we're sending you a survey to understand ways that we can give you a better employee experience. We're sending you a survey to figure out how we can do better as a company. Take the ownership and give us permission to get negative. When you say, we're sending you an engagement survey, we don't want to fall apart in a survey that might get us fired. It just insinuates that there's something wrong with us. You know it's an engagement survey. You can talk to the executives about how it's an engagement survey. You can talk about the impact on the bottom line and the ROI and the productivity and why this stuff is so important to layer on employee sentiment and attribute it to like revenue and how much your business is growing or not. But to us, just call it a survey. If you call it an engagement survey, we're going to be like, oh, you're measuring what's wrong with us. And really what's wrong with us is you. But if we tell you that, are you going to fire us? Tell us that you're trying to give us a better employee experience, because that's what we care about. That makes more sense to us. When you talk about things that you care about, just in life, people are a lot more resistant. Like, what's in it for me? You need to cater to what people's pains are and what keeps them up at night. So when you're like, hey, my job is to give you a better employee experience all the time. Like, we always want to be improving. We know no workplace is perfect, and we care about you and your experience working with us. Oh my gosh, that's music to our ears. I'm sending you a survey to figure out how we can give you a better employee experience. Don't say, I'm sending a survey because we need to drive engagement. When we do figure out what that means, because we'll Google it or like we'll talk to each other, we realize like, oh, they think that we don't care. They think that we are quiet quitting. They think we're losers. They think we're lazy. They don't care or understand that this job is traumatizing us, because engagement is an emotional measurement of how much employees care about the company. It's a reflection. It's like a mirror of how you make us feel and how we feel about you. So whenever you're talking about what you're doing, you can talk to the executives about driving engagement and the impact on the bottom line and driving ROI for the business and how it's so good for productivity and helping your company scale more responsibly or stay in business for the right reasons. But when you're talking to employees, you need to be really basic. And it's not that we're dumb, we're tired. We're context switching all the time like you. So like, tell us what's in it for us. And when we send you our negative feedback, when you say things like, first of all, like, we love when you own the negative feedback, and just know that it's not a personal attack on you. Like, hey, everyone, thanks for taking that survey. I need that information to understand how we can give you a better employee experience. So thank you for telling me how you feel. I was given such a great, like, deep look into ways that we can improve as a business. Don't just jump straight into like, oh, everybody wants recognition, so we're doing a recognition program, because you're like flustered that the results were so bad. Don't talk about driving engagement, because we don't know what that means. And then if we do figure out what it means, we're going to be like, oh, so you think there's something wrong with me? Well, I think there's something wrong with you. That's that tension. That's that barrier between employees and HR or people operations or like the executives. That's like, we can't seem to like actually reach through and connect with each other because we're misunderstanding each other. I know now that I've done all this research and spoken to so many of you that you say driving engagement and you mean it in terms of you love to help people and solve problems, but employees don't know that. They don't see it that way. So this is just really important, because for you to get everyone at your organization to understand who you are and why you're an ally and what you exist for, and to get budget and to get managers to participate in training and management training and employees to take your surveys and executives to give you budget, you need to understand and think in terms of what everyone cares about. So for employees, we don't want to hear that you're driving engagement. We want to hear that you're giving us a better employee experience and what we can do to get to put our negative feedback somewhere, which feels so good. Like, you should know we love your surveys and we extra love it when you do something with them. If we don't take your surveys, it's because in the past, no one's done anything with the results, whether it's at your company or a different one. We don't trust the process. But when you position it as, before you kick off a survey, hey, this is to give you a better employee experience. Oh my gosh. We're like, I get it. And I want to have that here. That sounds nice. And we're more likely to take it. And we're more likely to start to see you differently. And as someone who is an advocate for us, who does care about the people and not that there's something wrong with us and that you need to take a survey to see how bad it is, where we're scared to actually be honest because we don't know what's going to happen to us. So this is just really important because it's what's going to level up your career. Okay. The best thing you can do in HR is study psychology. I've got a whole book list in my community of things outside of just basic HR books, which I haven't found many. What I recommend is not HR books. There's a few, but it's mostly psychology and influence and boundary setting and public speaking and active listening and time management books. So that's all. Today's just a quick little don't ever say drive engagement to employees because they don't know what that means. If they do know what it means, they're going to get a little irked and insulted. Say what's in it for us, which is to stop traumatizing us at work. Hey, I know there's ways we can do better, everybody. I want to give you a better employee experience. That's my job. I'm so excited to send you the survey to learn where we can do better. Please do not hold back. I really look forward to seeing how we can better support you and set everyone up for success from executive team on down. Okay? All right. Words matter. More than you think. You're also doing a lot. So how would you ever think about this outside of just like managing payroll and compliance and policies, benefits, hiring, firing, and like everything in between that you do? So you're doing great. These are just little nudges to further you in your journey and your career. It's a noble quest. I'm telling you, if I would have worked in HR, I would have been arrested. I'm too much of a moody, broody Scorpio, and I have people-pleasing tendencies till I don't. And then it turns into like obnoxious aggression. And that goes back to my childhood, not yours. So yeah. I love you guys. I see how much you do in the background to keep these companies glued together. Keep going. It's these little nuggets that will help you make a bigger impact, more than you would think, less than just like brute force trying to force stuff to make it happen. Because we know that doesn't work and it burns you out too. Okay. I love you guys. I'll talk to you next week.